Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Ashland 2-Night News. Today is Thursday, October 16th, and here's a look at today's top stories.
1 week later, and the doors of Archway Cookie Factory are still closed. But now former employees are taking action. Learn how when we return.
Fires in Ashland may not be put out as quickly due to the loss of one of the department's tankers. Find out how quick you'd get a response when we come back.
An AU sports team is going pink for the cure. Find out more when we return. I'm Giselle Updegraff.
And I'm Brittany Lee. It's all coming up next on Ashland 2-Night News. Thanks for joining us. The month of October has been nationally designated as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and one AU sports team has been raising money for the cure. Women on Ashland University's volleyball team spent the last week selling t-shirts in a fundraiser titled Volley for the Cure. The t-shirts featured two designs, one for the men and one for the women, and were sold to students on campus. The event was organized by head coach Connie Surowskowitz.
Just this past weekend, we were involved with breast cancer donations. Throughout the United States, volleyball is very involved in Volley for the Cure. So the GLIAC this year wanted all teams at least one of their home matches to take part in this. Myself and my assistant, Coach Parsons, devised a way to raise money in a way that kids could be involved, and that was designing t-shirts. We had a very successful time with that. We had a good time designing them. The kids were all over campus, and we think we probably sold well over 100. We haven't tallied everything yet.
All money from the fundraiser was donated to the American Cancer Foundation.
AU's Center for Community Service will put on Service Week from October 18th through the 25th. This year's theme is Pay It Forward. The week begins this Saturday with Tau Kappa Epsilon's Alzheimer's Memory Walk. Registration begins at 10 a.m. on Founders Lawn. On Sunday, the Hunger Team sponsors the Crop Walk at 2 p.m. at the Christ United Methodist Church. The Adopted Grandparent Team will sponsor a pumpkin painting session on October 20th at 6:30 p.m. in the Resource Room of the Student Center. A Go Green meeting will be held at 8:30, also in the Resource Room. Service opportunities continue with a Halloween party on the 21st at the Good Shepherd Home. Delta Zeta's Trick or Treat Help Someone Eat canned food drive will run all week. Non-perishable food items can be dropped off at all residence halls and the Student Center. So if you're looking for an opportunity to give back, please visit ashland.edu/ComServe for a complete list of activities. Again, that's ashland.edu/COMMSERV.
A little piece of German culture was brought to Ashland in this week's World Cafe. Students who participated in this summer's AU in Germany program told audience members of their experience. Clothing bought by students from Germany was shown, and ethnic food was brought for the audience to enjoy. Students that were featured in this event included Scott Hyman, Katie Gehring, Lauren Sheely, Angie Cook, Lita Mercer, and German exchange student Matthias Schumann. German food, sports, and culture were just a few of the topics touched upon.
AU Student Senate held their semi-annual Student Speak Up on Tuesday in the HCSC auditorium. Students had the opportunity to discuss campus issues with key administrators, such as President Fix and VP of Student Affairs Sue Hyman. Among the subjects discussed were concerns about dining, student retention, tuition, academics, and alcohol. The administrators did take note of all the student concerns, and hopefully will see results in the near future. Students are always encouraged to voice their opinions, and Speak Up is the best opportunity to do so. The next Student Speak Up will be in April, but don't hesitate to contact your administrators in the meantime. As Director of Residence Life Michelle Sheets said, we can't do anything about issues we don't know about.
This weekend, AU's campus will be filled with family of students and staff for the annual Family Weekend. Events for the weekend begin on Saturday morning with the President's Coffee at 10 a.m. The day will continue with a home football game taking place at 1 p.m. and a Wild Wild West casino night beginning at 4:30 p.m. Also taking place this weekend is the theater department's production of The Crucible. The play opened last weekend, but if you didn't make it out to see it, you can be sure to catch it this weekend. Additional performances will take place Friday and Saturday at 7:30 p.m. and on Sunday at 2 p.m. Tickets can be purchased at the box office located in the Hugo Young Theater. Coming up next, find out how one former Archway employee is fighting the company's decision to shut down. Ashland 2 Night News will be right back after the break.
Hi, Mr. President. My parents believe that eating meals together will make our country strong. Is this something that you did when you were a kid?
I did eat with my family so long as my mother wasn't cooking.
It's not good making fun of your mother, even if you are president, but it is good to have dinner with your kids. We know the more often children have dinner with their families, the less likely they are to smoke, drink, and use drugs. So simply having dinner together can help your children forever, even if you're not a great cook.
Does peace really have a chance within our lifetime? At Rotary, we believe it does. We've created programs at universities around the world, dedicated solely to teaching peace to a new generation. There's a new symbol for peace. Rotary.
What do a store owner, a mother of two, and an honor student have in common? They've all recovered from a mental health problem, and they're all part of our lives. Mental health problems are surprisingly common. They affect almost every family in America, maybe even yours. Get the facts about mental health. Call 1-800-789-2647 because mental health is part of all our lives.
This is a banana. This is a cat. This is fire. This is harmless and actually helpful to some people. Don't believe everything you hear. The fact is that every major health organization rejects smoked marijuana. Now that the smoke is cleared, discover truecompassion.org.
1 week ago, employees of Ashland's Archway Cookie Factory received the unexpected word that the plant was closing. Now, some employees are letting their outrage be known. Four-year employee Jeff Austin filed a class action lawsuit against the company yesterday, stating the sudden announcement was in violation of the WARN Act. According to the WARN Act, companies are required to give their employees 60 days notice before they close their doors. Under this act, the company is liable for the wages and benefits of their employees during those 60 days. The Cookie Factory announced the closing of their Ashland location on October 3rd and filed for bankruptcy on October 6th. For the latest on this case, be sure to tune in next week for updates.
One of Ashland City Fire Department's tankers will no longer be put to use in extinguishing fires in the county. The tanker is AFD's oldest and is currently out of service with repairs being made. According to Fire Captain Miller, however, Ashland residents should not be worried. Mutual aid from surrounding townships such as Jackson, Mifflin, and Mohican will be given in cases of emergency. Miller also told TV2 that the station is currently in the process of getting a new truck that is similar to the newer ones that they currently use. The new truck is being made customly and will be ready for use between January and February of the coming year.
Recent donors were recently honored for their outstanding contribution to the Ashland community and campus. AU has established the Order of the Eagle to recognize donors who have given $1 million or more. There are 4 levels of giving: platinum, gold, silver, and bronze, with donations ranging from $1 million to $10 million and up. Charter members were recognized at the annual Founders Dinner Thursday evening in the Convocation Center. 32 members were inducted to the Order of the Eagle Society. An American bald eagle named Socrates was also present, flying high over the 350 attendees.
The presidential election is less than 3 weeks away, and debates are going on across the country of which candidate has the best viewpoint on policy issues. The Young Democrats and college Republicans hosted an event on Ashland University's campus that allowed AU professors to engage in a debate amongst themselves. The Liberals and the Conservatives explained their views in order to give students a better understanding on who they were voting for. There were about 75 members in the audience. The last warm weather of 2008 may have made its way out of Ohio for good. Stay tuned to see if TV2's own Leland Gottlieb can promise us some sunshine.
Shalom.
Jam.
Salam. Hewa.
Rita. Apa pa? Pa.
Mir. Shanti.
Nhiệt Changyok di.
We all want the same thing.
Peace.
And Rotary clubs
Sola.
are making it happen.
Happy.
Through international scholarships for young people to promote peace and understanding
La Fei.
around the world.
Señales de high.
Rotary. Humanity in motion.
1,200 American youth run away from their homes every day. The National Runaway Switchboard is here to help. 1-800-RUNAWAY. If you are a runaway, thinking about running away from home, or a parent or guardian concerned about issues facing your child, call us 24 hours a day. 1-800-RUNAWAY. In times of crisis, hope is just a phone call away. 1-800-RUNAWAY.
It's easy to tell if you've had way too many. But what if you've had just one too many? Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Parents, there's something you can do to protect your kids from drugs and alcohol. Combine ground beef with egg, tomato sauce, breadcrumbs, and spices. Bake in an oven-safe pan at 350 for 50 minutes. Serve hot.
This is Jamie Lee Curtis. Children who eat dinner with their families are less likely to smoke, drink, or use drugs. So, have dinner together every day.
Delicious.
A message from CASA, the National Center on Addiction and Substance Abuse at Columbia University.
Welcome back to Ashland 2 Night News. I am Leland, the weatherman Gottlieb, bringing you, yes, Ashland's weather. Well, I know some of you may be in a grumpy mood today, but there's no need to be because we have some good weather coming in our direction. We had a cold front that moved through our direction yesterday and since has moved to the East Coast and is plaguing the East Coast with some rain showers and cooler temperatures. However, behind it, we have some clouds and a high pressure system moving from the north, from Canada, down into our area. This will supply us with some cool, refreshing air and some sunshine. However, since the sun is lower in the sky at this time of the year, we'll see some cooler weather. Let's just check out how cold it is outside right now with those current temperatures. We can see down in Cleveland, we saw a temperature of 55. And right now in Ashland, we're sitting in the cooled spot. We're at 53 degrees right now, so pretty cool out there. So get inside and burn those fires up. Now let's take a look at the Atlantic Ocean and see what's going on in the hurricane department. We can see that there is a hurricane down that hit the Leeward Islands and is now moving out into the Atlantic Ocean. So it doesn't look like it will hit the USA anytime soon. It actually won't at all. And it looks like this will be the last hurricane of the season. Now let's take a look back in our neck of the woods at that all-important 3-day forecast. We can see that temperatures will be moderating the next few days. And Brittany, it looks like by Sunday we'll see a high of 62, so we'll see some nice weather again, and summer is still here, or fall, whatever you want to call it. That's all I have for weather. Here's Greg with sports.
Thanks, Leland. I'm Greg Smith, and now it's time to get a look at your Ashland University sports. On Saturday, the Eagle football team traveled north to visit GLIAC rival Northwood University. Under the head of senior quarterback Billy Cundiff's 5 touchdowns, the Eagles dismantled the Timberwolves in a 43-24 victory. AU quarterback Billy Cundiff's 4 touchdown passes gives him 39 on his career, making him the school record holder in that category. Wide receiver Johnny Long led the receiving corps with 5 receptions for 111 yards and 2 touchdowns. Tailback DeJuan Harvey also gained 100 yards on 24 carries. The AU defense did not force any turnovers for the first time in their last 3 games, but did come up big in holding the GLIAC's #1 ranked rushing team to just 111 yards on 22 carries. Senior linebacker Tom Brenner led the team with 9 total tackles and a sack. The Eagles come back home for a matchup with third-place Saginaw Valley State University and a must-win game for Ashland. The men's soccer team faced their biggest challenge of the year when formerly #1 ranked Northern Kentucky came to town. The Eagles struck first in the 20th minute on a goal by Adam Spanbauer. The Norse's Braden Bishop tied the score at 1 in the 53rd minute, and it would stay that way till the end. The Eagles would suffer their first non-victory but stay unbeaten and atop the GLIAC and regional standings. They now travel to Michigan to face GLIAC foes Northwood and Saginaw Valley State. The women's soccer team finally posted a win against Ferris State University, topping the Bulldogs 2-1. Both goals were scored by Kelly Usher. The Lady Eagles then matched up versus powerhouse Grand Valley State University. Despite a strong effort, the Lakers left Ashland with a 6-0 decision. AU now follows with the men's team to face off against Northwood and Saginaw Valley State. The volleyball team looked to bounce back with a win at Cates Gymnasium this past weekend, but was unable to secure one. The Ferris State Bulldogs shocked the Eagles 3-2 on Friday, followed by nationally ranked Grand Valley State's 3-0 win over Ashland. The Eagles now head to Indianapolis for the GLIAC GLVC Challenge, where they look to change their fortunes from this weekend. The AU tennis team continued to dominate with wins this past weekend over Michigan Tech and Lake Superior State. The Eagle Netters now stand at 8-2 overall and 6-1 in GLIAC conference play. They finished their fall season of play with games at Grand Valley State and Ferris State before the GLIAC championships. That's all we have for a busy week in Ashland sports. Be sure to head out to all the Ashland University sporting events this upcoming week. But if you can't make it to the game, come check it out here back on TV2. Up next is Rachel with your health report. Stay tuned.
Today, I took 2 flood victims to a shelter.
I donated a day's pay to help a family that lost everything in a fire.
Have you saved a life today?
I teach a class in infant CPR.
I donated a pint of blood.
Have you saved a life today?
No. But today somebody saved mine.
The American Red Cross. Together, we can save a life.
When you ask your child what they did in school today, do they tell you what happened here? How about there? Do you ask them questions about who they had lunch with or who they sat next to on the bus? Having a more specific conversation with your child may be the key to bully prevention. Bullying can affect a lot of people in a lot of different ways. Find out how you can help by calling for free information. Make time to listen. Take time to talk about bullying.
1 in 8 Americans goes hungry. One idea helped change that. A community started a garden that blossomed into farmers markets. 1 in 6 children lives in poverty. One group of women found an answer by opening a daycare center that their neighbors could afford. Today, 36 million Americans live in poverty. But one by one, people are helping themselves and each other to change the picture of poverty to one of hope. For easy ways you can help, visit povertyusa.org.
Neurofibromatosis.
Neurofibromatosis, or NF, is a genetic disorder that causes tumors to grow anywhere on or in the body. It can lead to blindness, deafness, loss of limbs, brain tumors, and severe disfigurement.
Neurofibromatosis.
Let me make it easy for you. Children's Tumor Foundation. The Children's Tumor Foundation, dedicated to ending neurofibromatosis through research. Let's all start saying it.
Children's Tumor Foundation.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Rachel King with your health report. If you surf the internet for information on the website Google, you could be getting smarter. A study conducted at the University of California monitored brain activity of older adults as they browsed the web. The study showed that people in their mid-40s to early 50s had an increase in their motor processing skills. Researchers recommended adults over the age of 65 to learn how to use computer-based search engines. By doing this, you can increase your brain's neural circuity. So, if your parents want to increase their mental capabilities, tell them to Google it. If you only drink bottled water because you are afraid of contaminations, you may want to think again. A new test run on leading brands of bottled water showed that many of them were not pure. A variety of contaminants were found in the water, including cancer-linked chemicals. This new discovery questions the advertising slogan that bottled water is more pure than tap water. Despite contaminations found, all the brands did meet federal health standards. Doctors across the country are urging individuals who have a family history of Alzheimer's disease to get tested for the disease themselves.
New studies are showing that this disease is linked to a genetic disorder that is hereditary. Alzheimer's disease is one that has plagued some 5.2 million people across the U.S. with no current cure. That's all with Health Tonight. Let's toss it to Kelsey with the latest celebrity gossip. Kelsey?
Thanks, Rachel. I'm Kelsey Miller, and let's take a look at this week's edition of TV entertainment straight from Hollywood. I bet you were all on the edge of your couches last night watching the season finale to Project Runway. Well, the suspense is finally over. All of their hard sewing, beating, cutting, and ideas finally is over, and the winner was Leanne Marshall. Nice job, Leanne. We can't wait to see what line you will be coming out with and in the department stores. In other entertainment news, Desperate Housewives star Gail Harold, who is Terry Hatcher's love interest, was severely injured in a motorcycle accident on Tuesday. He fractured his shoulder and he remains in critical condition. Gail is being tested and x-rayed for other injuries. No one else was injured in the accident. Best wishes for Gail from the Desperate Housewives family and a speedy recovery. Beyoncé's new CD is set to hit the shelves on November 18th. The double CD album has a new flavor to it with a new combo with a very different feel to both CDs. Her first CD is very slow and very much so a ballad instrumental piece. However, her second album is a more upbeat and R&B type. Another fun little extra thing is that she titled each CD different than the whole album. The first album is I Am Beyonce, and the second album is I Am ... So be sure to look for it in stores soon. And now, the top 5 movies at the box office this week are: coming in spot 5 is Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist. And number 4 is Eagle Eye, starring Shia LaBeouf and Michelle Monaghan. Number 3 on the charts this week is Body of Lies, starring Hollywood hunk Leonardo DiCaprio. Coming in second place in the box office was the horror movie Quarantine. And your number 1 hit at the box office again for the second week was the Beverly Hills Chihuahua, bringing a total of $17.5 million. That's all for this week's edition of TV2's Entertainment. Ashland 2 Night News will be right back after this break.
And now, another fact of Congress. Sometimes criticizing Congress seems like a national sport, but that's not always accurate. Most legislators want to serve the public. We may hear about a bad apple or two, but on the whole, most legislators are good-hearted people. Overall, most of your money is spent on important, widely supported projects like protecting our country and assisting senior citizens. While some lawmakers fund projects that only support their district, whether or not it's wasteful is often in the eye of the beholder. Just like styles change, sometimes a congressperson's opinion changes over time, just like ours might. New information can give you new ideas. And that's another fact of Congress.
Defenders of the homeland. We are the shield of freedom. We are the United States Coast Guard.
Heed your country's call. Join the Coast Guard or Coast Guard Reserve.
Everybody needs a helping hand. Take a look at your fellow man and tell me what can I do today.
Hey, let me get that for you.
Everybody needs a helping out. That ain't what it's all about. Tell me what.
Thank you, young man.
What can I
No problem.
What can I do today?
Courtesy. Pass it on.
I got it.
A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back to Ashland 2 Night News. If you're in the mood to check out some unusual art this weekend, head over to the Academic Corridor. The annual Sidewalk Chalk Festival will be taking place this Saturday, October 18th, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Artists will be creating murals on the concrete sidewalks, so be sure to check it out.
If you're currently taking a class that you aren't doing so well in, you can take it pass-fail. Registration for the SU option began this Monday, and the deadline is next Friday, October 24th. For more information or to register, make sure you stop by the Registrar's office in Founders Hall.
You, the viewers, have been emailing TV2, and I sat down with President Finks today to get your answers to the questions that you sent us. Take a look at our second edition of Finks Thinks. Welcome to TV2's second edition of What Finks Thinks. I'm Brittany Lee, and I'm here with AU's President, Dr. Finks. Thank you so much for joining us again today.
Brittany, it's nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Our first question is about the presidential election. The media's kind of all shaken up about the presidential election that's coming up here in about 2 or 3 weeks. And has it affected AU at all, and how has it affected campus?
Well, of course, I think this is a major event in the time of the history of our country. So anytime you have a presidential change, it always affects, I think it affects everyone. Has it enlivened the campus? I think so. There's been a lot of discussion on campus among students as well as among faculty about both candidates. I think both the young Democrats and the young Republicans have been much more active, at least it appears to be. I've been invited and attended one event for the young Democrats, and they had one of the best attendances they've had in years. So yeah, I think it's really gotten exciting for a lot of people.
Good. And one of the big issues coming up in the election has been the economic decline. I know a lot of people throughout the country are suffering from it. Has AU seen any changes, and what are you as president of the university doing to help the university out?
Yeah, I think every single person has been affected by what's happening. We're seeing it across the board. We've seen it with students. We've seen it with a decline in the student numbers. We're seeing it with decline in the stock market. A lot of gifts come through stock gifts to the university. So yeah, we've seen effects there. The university is looking at budget reductions and budget revenue increases. In fact, I just have come that's why I was a little bit late. I just come from a meeting with faculty welfare and our cabinet talking about issues about how do we increase revenue, how do you have cost savings, and what budget reductions we need to do. We'll be doing that with faculty budget committee tomorrow. We'll be doing it with across the campus this next 2 weeks and dealing with it. But I can tell you this, we are committed, number one, to academic excellence, to maintain the quality of our education program here and also student services. After all, you are our product. We need to make sure that you're getting the best education you're paying for, and so we're committed to doing that.
Good. That's reassuring to know. And lastly, ever since you've taken office, students around campus have known that you've been very interactive in student life. I know that one of our viewers emailed us in and said that you helped her with her bag of peanuts one time, getting it open. Is that relationship with students important, and why do you think it's so important?
Oh, it's absolutely important for me. I'm a product of this university. I was impacted as a student with what was called Accent on the Individual. It continues to be a philosophy of life here for us. It becomes a way of life, and so I want to do the same thing. I love people anyway, and it's easy for us to interact. In fact, I'm going to win the cornhole tournament tonight. But yeah, we do a lot of things. Holly and I both love being involved with students. We love the interaction, and it's important. I speak to every student I pass on campus. A lot of them are getting to know that, so they start smiling at me before they even approach me. But I think it's important for us.
Good. And you said that you are a product of AU. What sort of things were you involved with whenever you went here?
Well, I was a psychology major. I was a psychology major and a religion minor when I went here. I was a pre-seminary student. I was involved in the fencing club as a student. I was vice president of the student body in my senior year. I was involved in a group called Alpha Theta. It was a religious club on campus. I was involved in a psychology club. And
you were very active.
And a lot of other things, right? Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. And I would just like to remind the viewers that if you have any questions that you would like to have answered, go ahead and email us at tv2@ashland.edu. And just a reminder that if you have any questions that you would like to ask them, just go ahead and shoot us an email.
So what's everyone doing this weekend?
Well, I'm actually very excited because I am getting a new car this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Oh, yeah.
I'm excited for the football game. The AU bands put on a great show this weekend, so come out and check us out. It should be a good time.
Definitely.
I'm going to go to the casino night with my family.
I have to work at Macy's all weekend, so lame weekend for me.
Well, Saturday at 10 a.m. I'm going to be on Founders Lawn for the Teak Memory Walk, so you guys should come out and support that.
Definitely. Well, that about does it for TV2 tonight.
We would like to say a big thank you to our TV2 crew, and if you're interested in helping out with Ashland's TV station, you can email us at tv2@ashland.edu.
And don't forget to join us next Thursday at 4:30.
Thanks for joining us.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
See ya.